This is Linkifun's brand new Android AI box known as the GT6 Pro, which is the upgraded version of the GT6 model that I had reviewed on my channel a few months ago, which in itself was a really good device. In terms of highlights, both these devices share pretty similar features, apart from of course a few very important and useful ones. While both these devices run on the same 8-core Snapdragon 665 chipset, the GT6 Pro now also comes with an HDMI-In port and not just the HDMI-Out port. This HDMI-In feature allows us to project any external device such as a mobile phone or even a gaming console directly on our car screen, which I think may turn out to be a fantastic option for some people. This time around we also get a dedicated USB-A port, which would prove to come in very handy when viewing videos and audio files using a pen drive or even while connecting a dash cam. And of course the GT6 Pro now comes with a stylish design with a lot of RGB lights that can be customized according to the aesthetics of the vehicle, making this one of the most powerful devices offered by the brand. Be sure to watch this video till the very end, as I have an exclusive discount coupon for you all to use on your Linkifun purchases. So without further ado, go and subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell notifications, and let's finally get on with this video. The GT6 Pro comes in this colorful rectangular box. At the front of the box cover, we get a picture of the GT6 Pro, which by the way looks really good. Android AI box and the chipset information has also been mentioned here. On one side of the box cover, we get Android Auto and CarPlay logos, as well as 4K video playback icons. And on the other side of it, we get highlights for Google Play Store, its built-in GPS, RGB lighting, and plug-and-play. I got the top variant of this GT6 Pro, which is the 8 gigs of RAM with 128 gigs of ROM or internal memory. The only other memory option available for this is 4 gigs of RAM with 64 gigs of ROM. Moving towards the rear, we get to see a lot more information of this device, which as you can see comes pre-installed with the Android 13 version. We can once again see some of the already mentioned highlights here as well. The only requirement for this GT6 Pro to work in your car is that your car should already be compatible with wired Apple CarPlay functionality. That's it. In the box, we get a detailed user manual in a few different languages, which contains all of the functions and steps in great detail. Then we get a small box which contains all of the cables that we'll ever need, 2 USB cables of type A to C and type C to C, either of which can be used depending upon your car. A short HDMI mini adapter cable, which can be used for both the HDMI out and the HDMI in features. A bypass power cable, also known as a T cable, which can be used in conjunction to the USB A to C cable in order to draw sufficient power to operate the GT6 Pro. I'll explain this in detail in just a bit. And of course, we get the GT6 Pro. This one here looks really beautiful and sleek compared to its older sibling. I can immediately notice that the build quality has improved quite a lot. Feels really solid and high quality material. Company branding at the top center, right above the shiny silver colored area, and I also love the color combination this GT6 Pro gets. RGB lighting spans all across the silver area. Its design is quite unique, where it gets a mostly circular shape with just a part of it sticking out, which consists of most of the ports this thing has, along with a bit of more RGB lights. The SIM card and microSD card slots can be found under their own rubber casing. This device is really lightweight as well. At the rear, we can see some highlights once again, apart from of course a lot of ventilation holes to keep this thing cool. Alright, now let's connect this thing to my car, the Kia Sonet, and test it out. My car comes with a USB Type-A port for both wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto, which means that the provided Type-C to C cable will not work for me. If your car has a Type-C port instead, then all you have to do here is connect one end of it to the main device and the other end to the Type-C port in your car, and that should just about do it for you. In my case, however, or in the case of cars having Type-A ports, it is recommended that we connect the other end of the provided Type-C to A cable to the bypass power cable, after which this end will connect to the car's Type-A port, while the other end will connect to a USB car charger, which by the way is not included in the packaging, so you might have to buy this separately. I personally have been using this other USB Type-A charging port that my car has with no issues whatsoever. So if in case you plan to buy this device, then you may want to first try utilizing one of these ports instead if your car has an extra port like mine does. And after approximately 25 to 30 seconds of the initial boot up, we can see a warning page on the screen letting us know of the dangers of watching videos while the vehicle is in motion, and in the process preventing us to do so since that is not safe. As always, these sort of videos are focused mainly towards the co-passengers in your vehicle and not towards the one actually driving the vehicle. You might notice a prompt to restart the device in case the device automatically calibrates the screen according to your vehicle's respective screen size. And done, you should now be getting a similar looking user interface like the one we can see over here. The first thing you'll notice immediately with the device as soon as it powers up are the ambient lights on it. We get several options to change the ambient light effects using its own dedicated app. In total, we can choose between 10 different lighting modes, apart from of course the option to switch off the lights altogether. You can select the color of your choice to match them with the aesthetics of your own car interior if you want. One of the USPs or the unique selling points of the Linkifun GT6 Pro is that it now comes with a USB Type-A port as well, which means that apart from turning your car screen to an entertainment powerhouse while on the road, now you can also utilize the provided USB-A port to connect to either a mouse or keyboard, a pen drive to watch offline videos, or even to power on a dash cam, which does work out pretty well, especially if your car does not have a lot of ports to begin with. My front dash cam, the 70mm Omni, has been working flawlessly with its USB-A cable plugged directly into this device, and watching personal videos or even movies without any performance issues throughout directly from a connected pen drive will also prove to be quite convenient for most people. Let's take a look at the main menu now. The alignment of some of the icons here may vary according to your car or region, but you'll pretty much see all of these apps or icons. You'll immediately notice a sort of a bubble that you can drag around the screen, clicking on which we get to see 4 options, which are the back button, home button, voice or Google Assistant, and the multitask button, which shows all of the opened apps. This bubble would remain on the screen at all times. It may even disappear, but as soon as you touch the screen, it will show up again. Also, if in case your car does not have a touchscreen, you can still use this device by pairing it to a Bluetooth mouse that works without a dongle. The right side of the screen, which may be on the left side in your case, will remain on the display for most apps, where we get the time, Wi-Fi status, SIM card network strength, memory card connectivity status, Bluetooth as well as location. We also get 4 icons for navigation, music, all apps and videos apart from this home button, which is also known as the main menu. These 4 buttons can be configured simply by heading over to the settings, then APK path customization settings, and then select the default apps that you want for each of the 4 buttons. Moving towards its left, we get an option to add 4 apps of our choice as shortcuts, while the top 2 icons of File Manager and Clear Tasks cannot be changed or removed. Simply touch and hold any other icon to replace or remove it. Down here is the button to exit the GT6 Pro interface to enter the car's menu. The interface, as you can see, is pretty smooth and snappy. We then get a few options to connect to either wireless Android Auto or wireless Apple CarPlay. We can also see the current date and temperature readings here, which looks sort of like a widget where we can change the readings to either Celsius or Fahrenheit as well according to our preference. We also get quick switch buttons for Wi-Fi, hotspot, SIM network, as well as the option to take a screenshot of the screen if you want. It gives us 10 seconds to quickly open the page or app before it takes a screenshot, which is quite nice. And finally, we get a widget for playing our favorite music track. If you swipe up, you'll get to see all the apps which work just the same as the menu button here on the right of the screen. And if you swipe to the left, we get to see a few more apps, including the settings app. If you download any new apps, then shortcuts to those apps will also show up here. As informed earlier, we do get the option to pair our mobile device to connect to either wireless Android Auto or wireless Apple CarPlay. For the sake of presentation, I'll now connect my Samsung S24 Ultra. In order to connect, all we need to do is enable the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on the phone and pair the phone to the device. And just like that, we now have wireless Android Auto connectivity with the all-time familiar looking menu here. All of the apps here function exactly like the wired counterpart, with latency at a minimum as per my testing. iPhones will work in a similar fashion if you use an iPhone. Here I've used my iPhone SE for presentation purpose. Let's now quickly have a look at some of the apps of this device and see how they function here. All of the basic features such as making and receiving phone calls directly from the inserted SIM card or even messaging anyone work just fine here. Video streaming apps such as Netflix and YouTube work flawlessly even while driving, which are definitely going to be a favorite for your family members or friends sitting in your car as co-passengers. And if you have any personal video files or movies saved locally in the inserted memory card, then just like the pen drive option we saw earlier, you can view them here on the screen using the app of your choice. You can use the provided file manager to manage all your videos, movies or photos, or you may even download some other similar app for it according to your preference. Navigation apps such as Google Maps work just fine here as well, and I couldn't find any issues while using them in transit, which means that GPS seems to work just fine as well. And of course, Google Play Store works just as intended, where we can even use voice search to look for any apps to download. Pretty much everything works flawlessly, and the response or latency in between apps is really good as well. In In case you don't wish to buy or use a separate SIM card, you can always enable the Wi-Fi of the GT6 Pro to get internet access from a hotspot enabled device within your car. That works just fine too. Another very practical idea would be to enable the hotspot here on the GT6 Pro and let everyone in your vehicle share the network from the device itself, which would then act as Wi-Fi for all the car occupants while on the road. I did also download and install a few hardware and software information utility apps for the device. Here we can confirm that the GT6 Pro is in fact using the claimed 8 gigs of RAM along with the company stated 8 cores as well as the 128 gigs of internal memory. Android version 13 is currently being used here, which can be upgraded as well. We also get Wi-Fi 5 here along with Bluetooth version 4 Plus. Qualcomm Snapdragon 665 chipset, which includes a quad-core 1.8 GHz chip along with another quad-core 2 GHz chip. And finally, the current temperature readings on the device and all of its components. In terms of gaming, we can once again very easily pair any preferred Bluetooth controller like I have done here, which would be the ideal option for playing games in the car for most kids. Very useful option for those who have children, traveling with them every now and then, which will definitely keep the kids busy, enabling you to drive peacefully without any distractions. And with all of the controls conveniently available at your fingertips, you can control the one possible distraction as well, volume. Since all of these apps including games would be using the built-in surround sound system of your vehicle. And as you can see here, Hill Climb Racing seems to be working smoothly with my paired Bluetooth controller, which is the all-new Cosmic Byte Quantum gamepad. Other games should work in a similar manner provided those games also support gamepads. You do always have the option to download and play other high graphics games as well. And finally, emulation games will work really well in this sort of a setup if that is what you're looking for, and I would highly recommend using a wireless gamepad for playing such games too. Personally, I've been really enjoying playing these games on a bit bigger screen. The GT6 Pro now gets an HDMI-In port, which allows us to either mirror our mobile devices or even use the car screen as a display interface for your gaming consoles. Once you have all the required cables and accessories to make this work, you can go ahead and click on the HDMI-In icon in the list of apps. Simply open this app and you should be able to see the display interface. And as you can see, I was also able to access the Samsung DeX feature on my car screen very easily, and I hardly noticed any lag or latency accessing any app within the Samsung DeX. I think this HDMI-In feature would prove to be very valuable or useful in case you have a gaming console such as a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox and plug that into your car, especially useful for kids during long road trips. As informed earlier, we can also use the GT6 Pro on any external monitor to make it a smart monitor. Here I'll be showcasing the HDMI mode or the TV mode using this simple monitor. This is not a smart monitor, but if you want, you can use any smart monitor or smart TV for this to work. Simply connect the monitor's or TV's HDMI cable to the provided HDMI-Out adapter, which goes in the GT6 Pro. You'll also need to use at least a 5-volt wall adapter to power up the device along with the provided USB cables. And done! Now we can use every single app and feature that we've seen so far, all the while using the home Wi-Fi, making both the HDMI-In and the HDMI-Out modes the best features of the GT6 Pro, as well as its other unique selling points or USPs, since most Android AI boxes that I've seen till now don't even have this sort of a capability, especially the HDMI-In feature, which makes it real easy for me to recommend this device to you all. It truly is worth the money spent. In order to purchase the GT6 Pro, you can visit the official website of Linkifun, and don't forget to select the device specific to your region. Use my exclusive discount coupon HarryWT to get a 15% off on your purchase to buy any of their products. At the time this video is being recorded, this device is available for around $238 US, meaning that using my discount code HarryWT, you would get a massive discount of $35.70. And apart from the GT6 Pro, there are several other car accessories they have to offer for you to check out. For reference purposes, my GT6 Pro was delivered to me in about 10 days time with no hassles whatsoever. In conclusion, the Linkifun GT6 Pro packs loads of features to be used inside as well as outside your car, and is surely a fantastic deal if you use my discount code to buy it. And with that, we have reached the end of this review video. Hope you found this video informative. I'll catch you guys soon in the next video. Until then, stay safe and take care. Bye.